The year is 627 CE, a year that would be etched into the annals of history as a pivotal moment for the nascent Muslim community in Medina. The fledgling Muslim community in Medina faces a grave and unprecedented threat. The air is thick with tension, and the inhabitants are gripped by a palpable sense of dread. A formidable confederation of Arab tribes, fueled by deep-seated resentment and a burning desire to crush the Muslims, has amassed an army of over 10,000 warriors. This is no ordinary force. It is a coalition of the most powerful tribes in the region, united by a common goal. This coalition, known as the Azab, the Confederates, poses an existential threat to the very survival of Islam. Their combined strength and determination make them a formidable adversary. At the heart of this alliance are the Quraysh, the powerful tribe from Mecca, who had initially driven the Muslims out. Their hearts are set on revenge, and they are determined to see the end of the Muslim community. They are joined by the Ghatafan, the Bani Asad, and other tribes with old grudges against the Muslims. Each tribe brings its own warriors, resources, and deep-seated animosities, creating a formidable and diverse coalition. Their combined might casts a dark shadow over Medina, their numbers seemingly insurmountable. The horizon is filled with the ominous sight of their vast army, a harbinger of the impending doom. The Muslims, numbering a mere 3,000, find themselves vastly outnumbered and outmatched in terms of military strength. The disparity in numbers is stark, and the odds are overwhelmingly against them. Fear and uncertainty grip the hearts of many. The threat is not just to their lives, but to their very way of life, their beliefs, and their future. The situation appears dire, a test of faith and resilience unlike any they have faced before. The community turns to prayer, seeking strength and guidance in this moment of crisis. Yet amidst this looming threat, the Prophet Muhammad remains calm and composed, his faith in God unwavering. His presence is a source of strength and reassurance for the beleaguered community. He gathers his companions, and together, they strategize their defense against this formidable enemy. The Prophet's leadership is crucial, and his ability to inspire and unite his followers is put to the ultimate test. Knowing that a direct confrontation would be suicidal, they seek a solution that would level the playing field and exploit the enemy's weaknesses. They devise a plan that is both innovative and daring, one that could turn the tide in their favor. The Muslims decide to dig a trench around the vulnerable parts of Medina, a tactic unfamiliar to the Arab tribes. This trench would serve as a formidable barrier, preventing the enemy from launching a full-scale assault. The entire community comes together, working tirelessly day and night to complete the trench. It is a monumental effort, a testament to their determination and unity in the face of overwhelming odds. The Prophet Muhammad himself oversees the work, inspiring his followers with his presence and dedication. His leadership is instrumental in maintaining morale and ensuring the success of this defensive strategy. As the trench is completed, the Muslims brace themselves for the impending siege. They know that the coming days will test their resolve and faith like never before. The stage is set for a confrontation that will determine the future of the Muslim community. The enemy approaches, and the Muslims stand ready, their faith and determination their greatest weapons. A brilliant Persian companion of the Prophet, Salman al-Farsi, suggests digging a deep trench around Medina, a tactic unfamiliar to Arab warfare. This idea, though simple in its essence, was revolutionary for the time. The Arabs, known for their direct and open combat, had never encountered such a defensive strategy. Salman, drawing from his Persian heritage, introduced a concept that would change the course of the impending battle. The Prophet immediately recognizes the wisdom in this suggestion. He sees the potential of this trench to serve as a formidable barrier against the approaching enemy forces. The Prophet's ability to discern the value in Salman's proposal showcases his strategic acumen and openness to innovative ideas regardless of their origin. The trench, a seemingly simple yet ingenious defensive barrier, becomes the cornerstone of their strategy. It is not just a physical barrier, but a psychological one as well, instilling a sense of security among the defenders and uncertainty among the attackers. The trench symbolizes a shift in the dynamics of warfare, where intellect and strategy begin to play a more significant role than sheer numbers. It will serve to neutralize the enemy's numerical superiority, particularly their cavalry, which forms a significant part of their military might. The trench effectively renders the cavalry's speed and mobility useless, forcing the enemy to rethink their approach. This strategic move levels the playing field, giving the defenders a fighting chance against a much larger force. The trench will act as a formidable obstacle, hindering their advance and limiting their ability to engage in close combat. The enemy, accustomed to swift and decisive charges, now faces a daunting challenge. The trench disrupts their momentum, creating a buffer zone that the defenders can exploit to their advantage. This defensive measure buys the defenders precious time to prepare and respond to the enemy's movements. The Muslims, united by a common purpose and unwavering faith, immediately set to work. This collective effort is not just about digging a trench, it is about building a community. Men, women, and children all contribute, each shovel of earth a testament to their dedication and resolve. The trench becomes a symbol of their unity and determination to protect their home and way of life. They labor tirelessly day and night, excavating the earth and piling up the soil to form a protective barrier. The relentless effort of the community is a reflection of their commitment to the cause. Despite the physical exhaustion and the looming threat of the enemy, their spirits remain unbroken. The trench, growing deeper and longer with each passing hour, stands as a testament to their collective willpower. The trench, spanning over 6 kilometers and deep enough to deter any attempt to cross, becomes a testament to their collective will and determination. Its sheer size and depth are awe-inspiring, a physical manifestation of the community's resolve. The trench not only serves as a defensive measure, but also as a symbol of their unity and strength in the face of adversity. The Prophet himself participates in the digging, inspiring his companions with his humility and unwavering resolve. His presence among the laborers is a powerful reminder of the shared responsibility and collective effort required to defend their city. The Prophet's actions reinforce the idea that leadership is not just about giving orders but also about leading by example. Their unity in the face of adversity, their sweat mingling with the soil, strengthens their bond and solidifies their resolve. The shared experience of labor and hardship brings the community closer together, forging a bond that will endure long after the trench is completed. This collective effort, driven by faith and determination, becomes a defining moment in their history, a testament to their resilience and unity. The Confederates arrive at the outskirts of Medina, their banners fluttering in the wind, a fearsome sight to behold. They are taken aback by the sight of the trench, this unexpected obstacle disrupting their well-laid plans. The trench proves to be an effective deterrent against the advancing forces. The enemy cavalry, unable to cross, is rendered largely ineffective in their assault. Frustrated, the Confederates lay siege to Medina, hoping to starve the Muslims into submission. The siege drags on for weeks, testing the limits of the Muslims' endurance and resolve. Food and supplies dwindle, and the biting cold of winter adds to their hardship. Yet their spirits remain unbroken and resilient. The Muslims share their meager rations, prioritizing the needs of the vulnerable, the elderly, the women, and the children. Their unity and spirit of selflessness shine through the darkness of the siege. They face the enemy with unwavering courage, repelling every attempt to breach the trench. The women too play a vital role, tending to the wounded, boosting morale, and even participating in the defense of the city. Their resilience and unwavering faith in God become their strongest weapons. As days turn into weeks, the siege begins to take its toll on the Confederates. The initial enthusiasm and vigor that had driven them to lay siege to the city start to wane. The long hours of waiting, the constant vigilance, and the unrelenting pressure of the siege wear down even the most seasoned soldiers. The once confident and determined faces now show signs of fatigue and frustration. The campfires that once burned brightly with hope now flicker weakly. mirroring the dwindling spirits of the men gathered around them. Their initial confidence wanes as their attempts to overcome the trench prove futile. Each failed assault chips away at their morale, and the realization that their enemy is not easily defeated begins to set in. The trenches, once seen as mere obstacles, now appear as insurmountable barriers. The soldiers' frustration grows with each passing day, their efforts to breach the defenses met with fierce resistance and strategic counterattacks. The sense of invincibility that once fueled their advance is now replaced by a growing sense of doubt and despair. The unity and resilience of the Muslims, their unwavering faith in the face of adversity, baffle them. The sight of their enemy standing strong, united in prayer and purpose, is a stark contrast to the growing discord within their own ranks. The Muslims' faith acts as a source of strength, bolstering their resolve and fortifying their spirits. This display of unity and determination is both inspiring and intimidating to the Confederates, who begin to question their own motivations and the strength of their cause. Dissension begins to spread within their ranks. The prolonged siege and lack of progress lead to heated debates and arguments among the leaders. The once unified front starts to fracture as different factions within the Confederacy begin to blame each other for their failures. The soldiers, witnessing their leaders' disputes, feel the impact of this discord, further eroding their morale. The sense of camaraderie that once held them together is now overshadowed by mistrust and resentment. The tribes that constitute the Confederacy, brought together more by a common enemy than a shared purpose, start to question their involvement. The initial unity forged by their collective goal begins to unravel as individual tribes prioritize their own interests and grievances. The lack of a cohesive vision and the growing realization of the formidable challenge they face lead to internal conflicts. Leaders of different tribes argue over strategies, resources, and the very purpose of their campaign, further weakening their collective resolve. The hardships of the siege, the lack of any significant progress, and the growing realization of the Muslims' determination begin to chip away at their resolve. The daily struggles of life in the siege, scarcity of food, harsh weather conditions, and the constant threat of enemy attacks take a heavy toll on the soldiers. The initial excitement of the campaign is replaced by a grim reality of survival. The sight of their comrades falling to illness and exhaustion further demoralizes the troops, making the prospect of victory seem ever more distant. The changing weather further exacerbates their plight. As the days grow colder and the winds stronger, the conditions in the camp become increasingly unbearable. The soldiers, ill-prepared for the harsh weather, struggle to keep warm and maintain their strength. The relentless cold seeps into their bones, sapping their energy and resolve. The once bustling camp now lies in a state of desolation, with soldiers huddled together for warmth, their spirits as cold as the winds that whip through their tents. Strong winds and a bitter cold grip the land, making life in the open unbearable for the ill-prepared Confederates. The harsh weather conditions add to their misery, making even the simplest tasks a struggle. The soldiers, already weakened by the prolonged siege, find it increasingly difficult to endure the biting cold. The lack of adequate shelter and supplies exacerbates their suffering, leading to a growing sense of hopelessness. The once formidable army now appears as a group of weary and demoralized men, struggling to survive the elements. Their supplies dwindle and their morale plummets. The scarcity of food and essential resources becomes a pressing issue, leading to rationing and further discontent among the troops. The once abundant supplies that fueled their initial advance are now reduced to meager rations, barely enough to sustain them. The soldiers, already weakened by the harsh conditions, find their strength waning with each passing day. The lack of adequate nourishment and the constant strain of the siege take a heavy toll on their physical and mental well-being. The siege, which they had envisioned as a swift and decisive victory, turns into a protracted and frustrating stalemate. The initial optimism and confidence that had driven them to lay siege to the city are now replaced by a sense of futility and frustration. The soldiers, once eager for battle, now find themselves trapped in a seemingly endless cycle of waiting and struggling. The realization that their enemy is not easily defeated and the lack of any significant progress lead to a growing sense of despair. The once clear path to victory now seems obscured by insurmountable obstacles. The Muslims, on the other hand, draw strength from their faith and their unity. Their unwavering belief in their cause and their strong sense of community act as a source of resilience and determination. The sight of their enemies' growing despair only strengthens their resolve, reinforcing their belief in their ultimate victory. The Muslims' ability to remain united and steadfast in the face of adversity serves as a stark contrast to the disarray within the Confederate ranks. Their faith and unity become their greatest weapons, bolstering their spirits and fortifying their defenses. They see the deteriorating morale of their enemies as a sign of God's favor, their belief in their ultimate victory strengthened. The sight of the Confederate soldiers' growing despair and disarray serves as a powerful motivator, reinforcing their faith and determination. The Muslims interpret these signs as divine intervention, a testament to the righteousness of their cause. This belief in their ultimate victory, fueled by their faith and the visible decline of their enemies, drives them to continue their resistance with renewed vigor and confidence.